Hello and welcome to Sweet Spot DFS. This is a 2019 preview of the WGC St. Jude Invitational. This tournament basically replaces two tournaments, one being the WGC Bridgestone and the other one being basically itself the St. Jude Classic, or the FedEx St. Jude Classic. The Bridgestone usually was played 2 weeks after the PGA Championship, which used to be the last major of the year. Obviously, this year, the schedule got all, jumbled up. I shouldn't say jumbled up. It just got resorted or reformatted or however you want to call it, where the PGA was actually your second major of the year, and now the Open is your last major. The original FedEx St. Jude tournament was played 1 week before the US Open. So we're going to have course history, and we'll get into that later. But let's just actually talk about the golf course. That way we can, continue talking about everything else. It is TPC Southwind. Again, we've played here before. Every single year, we're going to have course history. It's a par 70, 7,200 yards. Played in Memphis, Tennessee. It's going to be hot. Like I said before, this tournament used to be played 1 week before the US Open. That was a little bit of a cooler climate, cooler temperature. I fully anticipate the guys are going to be hitting the ball very far this week. Very far, like 5% further than they typically do. So the course is actually going to play a lot shorter than what it is right now. The grass type is Zoysia. There's Zoysia grass in the fairways. There's Bermuda on the greens. It's Champion Bermuda if you want to get really specific. Zoysia, basically the ball just sits on, obviously the ball typically sits on top of all types of fairway grasses. However, for Zoysia, it sticks basically straight up and it provides kind of a flyer lie. Basically, the golfers are going to have preferred lies all the time as long as they're in the fairway. The rough is like 2.5 inches long. It's not that penal, but there are shorter rough heights on tour. But for the most part, this is kind of average. I don't think the rough is really going to be that penal. So I'm the more and more I think about this tournament, the more and more I'm probably going to be targeting players that have decent approach, but also bomb the ball off the tee. And we'll get into the stats. We'll look at that. I also put the designer on here. I've never heard of the guy. I've never seen his name on any of the other golf courses that the PGA Tour players have played on this year. So I don't really have anything of that or to go along with that. All right, let's get into the spreadsheet. I have it up. Now, this is kind of a tricky year or a tricky week because, as you guys know, I do the last year bucket and last week bucket. I'm going to still follow the last year bucket. This is a WGC event, which means it's not a full field. There are 63 golfers as opposed to typically 120 because I believe the old St. Jude was also an invitational. Actually, we could probably go look really quick. Oh no, 158 golfers. Okay. It was St. Jude Classic. Okay. Should probably change the name up here in the top left. So, okay. I'm still going to use the last week or the last year bucket because what we see, there is some very stark differences. Golfers who have not played at the St. Jude Classic, it's just overwhelming favorited towards golfers who have not golfed. But you do see at least one golfer who finished inside the top 20 the year before. As we go on with this tournament, with there only being 60 some golfers, that means a third of the field is going to be inside the top 20. Unlike before, out of 160 golfers, that'd be an eighth of the field. But, I what I'll say this. I want to we'll see how many golfers keep coming back year after year. Obviously the best golfers are going to. I would assume that having a top 20 finish actually will be increased throughout the years. Not playing the year before will decrease quite a bit. Now, when we get into the DK page, you're going to see not many golfers in this tournament have played this golf course before. Or, well, this tournament. But again, this golf course has only hosted this tournament. Now, we also have last week's stats, and those also favor those who did not play the week before, but about 90% of the players in the field have played the week before, and they've played at the Open. I don't have any golfers in the WGC field that played in the alternate event, the Barbasol Championship. So it's all, every golfer in the last week bucket has golfed the Open, or golfed the Open if they have, last week results. Basically, yeah, I think that number is going to diminish quite a bit. It's going to go significantly down. Maybe we just use the 1/8 rule, or probably 1/2 rule. I think we could split this in half and just say this was 9, and then just, I don't even care. But the same thing can apply here. And the reason being, if I were to forecast what this tournament's going to look like in the years going forward, actually this number is probably going to be a lot smaller. But for this tournament this week, we're gonna go with, like I said, we're gonna go with last year, the last year stats. We might go a little with the last week stats, and when we get in the DK page, I will show you. Now, I don't have combinations for this week because I just didn't see the need. It's just different time of the year, following a different tournament, having a smaller field, like it didn't make sense to. So here we go. We're going to the DK page. I have starred the golfers here on the left that I like. Maybe I will zoom in one more time. That's too much. Okay. So I've starred the golfers that I like over here. I think like right away now. Oh boy, I do like Brooks at his price and it not being a major. It's an easy fade. I'm not gonna play many contests this week, so I might play him in one. Just for the fact of just playing him once in case he does win, because if he does win, you need those first place points. But I really like Dustin. I will probably start a lot of my lineups with Dustin. I actually like these 3 golfers a lot. I really like Justin Thomas. Everyone else likes Justin Thomas. So it's not like I'm providing you any special advice here or I'm not giving you any groundbreaking, insight. A lot of people like Justin Thomas, but I probably like Rory McIlroy just as much. I think Rory just got caught in the headlights at the Open, and I think he's going to, how he played Friday, who knows how long he stayed after. We didn't see him in the congratulatory hug, handshake, whatever to Shane Lowry at the end, unlike the other Irishmen that were there. So who knows, maybe Rory already left. With that being said, you could play whatever narrative you want to play. But I think Rory's game, and you're going to see his Bermuda stats are pretty crazy. Actually, if you're paying attention to kind of the buckets that are sliding by with the different stats, you can see top 5 Bermuda overall, he's on top. top 5 in 2019. He's on top. Yeah, I think he played 2 events this year, one being the Players Championship. So Rory is just dynamite. So I think, I don't think you can go wrong. Tommy Fleetwood also has some really good Bermuda stats. You know what? All right. The buckets probably are irrelevant this week. Like I said, I'm still going to go with the last week. But I'm going to construct lineups, and that's how we're going to go through these players and why I like who I like. So if you recall the Alt-Tab, little method there. There's only 60 some players, so really all I'm going to do is probably scroll through this list as opposed to jumping back and forth. Let's see what it looks like having Dustin Johnson as our number 1 golfer. So it leaves you with $7,700. Now, I'm not afraid to pair him with anybody else here at the top. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip Taylor. I'm going to sort this by golfers that I like, and my cheapest golfer is Adam Long. Max Homa is right here at 6,400. I might just sure. Since DJ is pretty expensive, I'm gonna put Max Homa as my 6th golfer. That leaves me with $8,000 left and 4 golfers to choose from. I really do like Max Homa. He's got a great golf swing. He's been playing some pretty darn good golf. So I really don't have a concern playing Max Homa this week, especially with it being a limited field, a no cut event. I like Max Homa. So okay, we've got our maximum, we got our minimum. Now we have 8,000 left on the table. Can we pick another golfer that we like down here? So Max Homa is a 1-1. I like that. I also like Matthew Wolff being a 1-1 as well. I know I said the buckets are kind of irrelevant, but I like the fact that they didn't play last week, and it shows that not playing the year before is super beneficial as well. I'm not going to play 2 1-1s. I'm just going to play one. Maybe I'll play 2 1-1s in a different time. But what I'm going to do, actually, I don't get through this really that much during the previews. I'm going to check to see if there's any notable tee times of golfers playing together. And kind of go with that. I actually think Dustin Johnson is in a dynamite pairing. So Dustin is with no. This is the dynamite pairing I was actually thinking of. That's something I'm going to look at for the next lineup. But where is Dustin? Dustin is playing with Paul Casey and Justin Thomas. Okay. I am going to play Justin Thomas just because of that. I know it might be trivial for some of you guys, but honestly, that together, I really like. I like putting golfers together in the same group, because if you've ever golfed competitively, people play off each other, whether it's negative or positive. If someone's golfing really well, it's kind of competitive. You're trying to, and also you kind of know if they're the leader or close to the lead. It's really easy to be motivated to play better. It's difficult when you play with someone who's really terrible, trying to ignore their little blow-ups, their little everything that's going on. So I'm going to pair those two together. It's not very salary friendly, but I'm just going to go with it. All right, so that leaves us with $7,100. I think what we're going to do is just go Bubba, Keegan, and Lucas Beauregard. Now, I won't lie, I kind of wanted to put a golfer in the yellow, but I don't think we're going to be... Actually, you know what? Let's put Brandt Snedeker. We can do that. We can do that. That's not a bad lineup. I don't mind Bubba. We really couldn't do anything else. I mean, I could look at all the other guys that are here, you know, in that 6K or even 7K, I literally don't like any of them. I don't like most of them. I like Thorbjorn. I don't think Justin Harding is a bad choice. And honestly, if you want, you can obviously go by points, fantasy points per game. We got a lot of European golfers here who do score really well that aren't getting any price love because they don't play many PGA events, and the odds makers, DraftKings doesn't actually value these guys whatsoever. But like Haotong, pretty darn good value. Justin Harding, very good value. Anyways, I really like Tony Finau, and I think if I'm going to create a lineup that I really like, I'm going to start with Justin Thomas. So I'm going to go with Justin Thomas, and then I'm going to go down to a min guy down here. I don't know if I don't really want to go with I don't really want to go with that. I'm long. And I don't want to keep pairing up my lowest guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with Keegan. Keegan's going to be my low guy here. So that's going to boost us up to 8,100. I told you I wanted Tony Finau on my team. I'm going to put Tony Finau right here. This leaves me kind of open for a couple players. A couple players that I think you're going to be somewhat surprised about. I like Jordan Spieth this week. Because it's a no-cut event. It is on Bermuda, which I believe he is pretty decent. If we were to hide some of this, we can hide this. All right, so we can get a name here for you guys to look at, plus the Bermuda stats. Get rid of the buckets. Okay. So if we went with top 10% of finding, or just top 10 Bermuda, the likelihood of these golfers finishing inside the top 10. Thank you. The percentage that they do, I should say. You have Jordan Spieth. He is the 7th ranked golfer, right behind Justin Thomas. Or right in front of Justin Thomas, behind Dustin Johnson. His overall Bermuda, not terrible. Where would he stand there? He's 9th. It's one of those things I'm also just kind of, he got to play in the Open, and I don't know, I kind of just have this feeling that the Open requires you to swing a bit different. It makes you swing more controlled. You're not freewheeling. And I think one of Jordan's plagues is he's been trying to maximize his driver distance. And with that, he's lost a lot of his ball striking. But I think this is a golf course that he can do well at. I'm just going to put him there. And in all honesty, guys, what I think I can do, so Jordan Spieth I can basically substitute him with Adam Scott or Bryson DeChambeau, which I like both of them, and then still have a reasonable amount of salary left over. All right, so we have that. I do want to look. All right, let's just go by salary. And we have, what was that? 7,700. Okay. So we could go, high or mid 8s and then go, low 7s or high 6s once again, which isn't a bad play. But I think what I'm going to do, I don't know why Kevin Kisner has that. So $7,700 of the golfers I like. We have Matt Wolff at 75. Obviously, we could pair him up with either Sergio or Rafa. We could also come down to Kevin Kisner, which gives us like $8,200, I think. Doesn't really help us, really. We could come back down to Bubba, or we could grab some of these guys down here. Let's see what Bubba does, what he will give us. So 8,300, that's not enough for anyone. Oh, 8,300 would give us Jason Day or Webb Simpson. I don't know why I didn't like Jason Day, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. You want to know why? I want to get a light green golfer in here. So 8,000. That opens up Rafa, and I think a lot of people are going to be off of Rafa this week. I think that's a pretty good lineup. So there's another way of doing this, these lineups. Really, what I'm gonna target. First of all, the tea time thing. I don't know why I'm forgetting about doing this, but you know, I might pair Justin Thomas with Paul Casey. I might do a Dustin Paul Casey lineup. I also will come down here and do a Brooks and Jason Day, a Brooks Keegan, Jason Day Keegan, and in all honesty, I think that's kind of what I want to do. Since I do have Keegan in here, obviously we can see I don't have enough to roster Brant. Oh, what am I doing? So we do want a light green. Is that my only light? It's Dustin and Brant. How much do I need? I need 7,100, I think. God, I'm not going to go with JB Holmes. It actually might be a good play this week because I don't think anyone else is going to play him. But I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I can do that. Boy. Would Brant just be a better play? I suppose what I could do is Brant and then change Jordan for somebody. So Jason Day and Keegan are playing together. Oh. There we go. So JT and Paul Casey are playing together. Jason Day and Keegan are playing together. I don't think Brant and Tony are playing together. And I don't want to pair people up that way. Like, I wouldn't want all of those golfers playing together. That would be a mistake, I think. You know, like trying to have 3 pairs. I don't want to do that. But I do want to find where Tony Finau is just to see if we've done that just by accident. Tony Finau is playing in with Matsuyama and Matt Wallace. Okay. Brant is with Cameron Smith and Louis Oosthuizen, which, let's be frank, probably going to withdraw this week, most likely. But it is going to be warm, so it's going to be good on his back. You know, the old guy with his creaky bones. It's going to work out just fine for him. Here, another notable pairing, pairing Cantlay with Fleetwood or Leishman with either of those two. I think that's not bad. Bubba's playing with Adam Scott and CT Pan. Who knows, honestly. I really don't know what to make of Adam Scott's game. He doesn't play often, so when he shows up to the Open and he doesn't do well, that's kind of concerning. I like Xander. I think this is going to be a dynamite group. I would think about playing him. Now, again, I should say again, but one thing that I don't talk about when it comes to pairing, this is only for Thursday and Fridays, tee times. You know, Xander and John Rahm could be separated by 2 strokes. And, you know, they could actually shoot really low. They could be like 10 and 8 under. Well, if someone's 9 under, that means either Rahm or Xander is going to play with him. So they will get separated going into Saturday's round, and most likely going to get separated in Sunday's round. So whatever mojo they have going on Thursday and Friday is going to get removed in that Saturday, and now they're going to be paired with a different person each. So who knows what that'll do to each of their games. I know that's a lot of psychological, I guess BS, if you want to call it that, but that does matter. I if you don't think it matters, you don't golf. You're not a competitive golfer. Now some people can just go out there and they don't care who they're playing with. Like Brooks, I don't think Brooks cares who he's golfing with. Okay. Do we see any other pairings that we like? I mean, I like Adam Long. I like Adam Long just because he's got a good golf swing. It's pretty solid. I don't think much can go wrong. He just needs to score. Tyrrell Hatton, who knows? From last week, who knows? I don't know. I have no idea who Horikawa is, so if you want to take a flyer, go for it. Max Homa with Eddie Pepperell, maybe it's worth it. I don't know. I just like to target the golfers like Cantlay, Fleetwood, Bubba, Scott, Hideki, Tony Finau. There's Gary with John and Xander, or I should say John Rahm and Xander. I don't think that's a bad pairing. I don't have a read on Gary Woodland. Obviously, he still kind of has his hangover going on from the US Open, which is totally fine. Totally get it. I just don't know. Maybe it's worth playing him. Like, who knows how many golfers are going to be, or how many DFS players are going to be playing him this week. He might be good value. Phil here with Thorbjorn and Hautong. That's actually a really good, it's a very sneaky good group. All of them can score really low. Hautong can score super low. And so can Thorbjorn. So really, maybe, well, you wouldn't want to play all three. Play two of them. You probably get a lot of value playing Thorbjorn and Hautong. Hautong $6,600. That might be worth it. Definitely worth it. Casey, Johnson, Thomas. Obviously, we talked about them. Billy Horschel's not really playing in a group, worthwhile speaking about. Kevin Nod, Kevin Tway, Sergio. That's not a bad group. I know I just started talking about these groups, but I think it's probably beneficial for you guys to see this, especially in this kind of setting, just to see who's all paired up and then, who to target. You can see Bryson's in with Ches Reavie and Matthew Fitzpatrick. I don't really like that for Bryson. I guess I haven't really done a deep dive on Bryson and how he plays with other groups. I have no idea if he gets energized playing with better groups or if he likes just being to himself. Because if that's the case, and I could see an argument made for that, I think Bryson's actually a good play. I know a lot of people are on Bryson this week, but I think that's a good play. This is actually a pretty dynamite lineup or trio also. That is worth looking at and probably playing. I don't care for this one. I mean, Putnam and Stenson, I like those guys. There's something going on with Keith Mitchell. Something is just not right with that guy. And that brings us down to the bottom. Kisner, that's a really good lineup there also, or a really good pairing. So it's up to you guys. Did you like anything that you saw on there? If you did, I would kind of mess around with a few of them. Go two of one pairing. If you want to be a little bold, go with all three. If you could see one golfer in that group just saying, screw it, I don't care what you guys do, I'm just going to play a really good round, go for that. This is a no-cut event, so they will get repaired on Saturday and Sunday's round, and you will be, they could shoot super low on Saturday and Sunday. I guess what I would rather have any of my golfers willing to win a tournament. Not really willing, but I would like them to be in the driver's seat of winning a tournament. Coming back from, super far down, not very ideal. Okay. What else can we talk about here? We can go through Bermuda stats. Your best Bermuda golfer is Tommy Fleetwood, but he's only played 12 events. But he has a 50% chance of getting inside the top 10. Dustin Johnson's right thereafter with 29 events, so more, but definitely not the most in this field. Matt Kuchar would be next, and he's got 45 events under his belt, so that's pretty solid. Dustin and Kuchar are both sixes for the last week bucket, and that's because they had the 40 to 60 range finish. I don't know how to take that with the Open. With how bad the weather was, I just, who knows? I don't like it. I just think it's a kind of a limbo, like a purgatory type of finish, where it was okay, but it wasn't good. Kuchar has a 33% chance of making the top 10. So, if we're just going by percentage points with the rest of the field, now it is in the light green, so that means it is a top 10 stat. So he's better than most in the field. Stenson's a really good play, I think. The last year bucket being a 5. I mean, play him. It's not, this red doesn't say don't ever play him. But maybe it's enough of a reason for you not to play a lot of him. I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet. Rory, Patrick Cantlay, Jason Day, all players that I am targeting. And again, Jordan Spieth down there with Justin Thomas. We already went through the top 10. 2019 isn't going to be really too telling. I don't have events here. Basically, rule of thumb is if this is a perfectly round number, like a 5, they've probably only played one event. But I'm pretty sure Rory's played more than one. Yeah, I don't know. Either way. Here are your top, 10. We got Thomas there, DJ, Fleetwood again, Rory, and Henrik down here. So, it's definitely worth looking after. What I'm going to do is select this and hide it. And get here to the stats. So let's see. You can't see birdie or better. All right. Tee to green, I think, is definitely going to matter. It's kind of your all-around stat. But Rory's the top, followed by JT and Hideki, Cantlay, and Johnson. These 5 would be my top 5. They are all golfers I want to play. Off the tee will matter. We get a little bit of a mix-up. I don't like Keith Mitchell, so really just ignore him. Then you've got Paul Casey, which last week's result, not a very good one. But, probably worth the play. Especially at 8,200, that's pretty decent. There's Bubba at 71. That's actually pretty decent. But then the rest of his stats, not very good at all. What I really want to do is find an approach player, a good approach player that has great tee to green. And really, if you want, just target all these guys here with the light green. There's Patrick Cantlay once again. I'm not saying you shouldn't play like Keegan or Sergio or Henrik, but these are kind of the golfers I'm going to be targeting, especially to go with the Bermuda stats. Rory was up top, and I think Cantlay was. So if we open this back up, hide this information. So again, we've got these guys right here. Look at their Bermuda percentage. So Hideki, not the greatest, but there's Justin Thomas, pretty darn good. Rory's pretty good, and Patrick Cantlay is pretty good. So maybe that's how we, whittle down our player pool, is just looking at that. That's pretty solid. I don't really care so much about putting coming into this week, but I've always kind of been a proponent of putting to go along with, whatever grass type they're on. So obviously you've got Justin Rose here. Not the greatest approach and not the greatest tee to green, but all in the plus. They're all in positives. It's just in this field, he is not one of the top golfers, just in the middle. Then you've got Jordan Spieth. His putting stats are good. His Bermuda finishes pretty good. Everything else pretty awful. So now we come full circle. Do I still like Jordan Spieth? Yes, I do. Again, it's a feeling. I think he's gonna do well. It's completely subjective. If you guys, there's no magical powers that I hold, so don't pick him if you aren't also interested in playing him. So, and Webb Simpson, that's pretty decent. Tee to green, not bad. Approach, not bad. In the middle. Here is a guy that's pretty good. Maybe not so much here, but yeah, putting pretty solid. And then Patrick Cantlay, pretty much the top in the field for stats, and his Bermuda is okay. It's not bad, but it's just okay. Dustin Johnson here. Now, he can't putt worth a damn. We haven't been on Bermuda for a while. Maybe this is where he turns around his putting. Maybe. Possible. And then Rory's down here. Plus stats, so that's pretty good. But, obviously dominates the other ones. Let's see what green and reg looks like. I am staying away from Corey Connors this week, but there's JT. JT, definitely, again, like I said, one of my favorite plays. And then you got to follow by Kuchar, Koepka, Day, Woodland, Casey, McIlroy. McIlroy, Casey, really like. Day, I also like. And again, there's Brooks. He's too expensive. I don't think that's who I want to play. Now, proximity, this will help with putting stats most likely. Nate Lashley with his putting, it's really the only guy that shows up that's pretty decent. But there's Rory. Rory's pretty good. Furyk's. I'm not opposed to playing Furyk, honestly. I am kind of opposed to playing Chez, especially at 7,900. I don't care for that. I like seeing Adam Long. That's pretty good. There is a lot of water on this golf course, so I don't know exactly how I feel about some of these lower price guys and their consistency. But I also don't know about these higher price guys either. But there's Keegan. I like seeing that with Keegan. I'm going to do birdie or better just to see who's at up top. It's JT, followed by Gary Woodland and Rory McIlroy. And of course, Bryson. Obviously, you guys can read. So, JT just continues to pop. So does Rory. Let's put a Rory and JT lineup together. So I'm going to put JT over here and Rory right there. That leaves us with 7,000. Now, we liked Keegan, and I might actually just go full board with Keegan, which I'm not sure if I like that. That doesn't make me feel the greatest. Gosh, we really don't have much left over in salary by playing Rory and Justin, but I also don't want to play a lot of scrubs at the bottom. So, what can we do here? Probably the best thing to do is find somebody who is a low price guy. I'm sorry, let's go by salary and by this. That way it makes it easier for us. Hey, Adam Long, we saw with proximity. That's definitely something to look at. I'm going to actually open this up because I'm going to use the fantasy points per game column here to really target golfers I want, because I think it's probably a better tell as to whom to choose from. And honestly, like, shoot, I really like these three golfers. Bubba and Brandt are playing together? No, different tees, sorry. Who was Bubba playing with? Adam Scott, that's right. Well, you know what? We like Homa. Might as well put him in there. 7,400 left. Between Kisner or Bubba? I'm just going to put Bubba in there. 78. We already have a 1-1 with Homa, so I'm not going to play Matt Wolf once again. Could play Sergio. That'd be right on the button. But I'm going to switch it up and go with Brent. So Brent's in all three of these. I know. It's interesting, it's weird, it's different. I don't hate that lineup. And honestly, you know, we could go with 6 and just substitute out certain players. So like, oh, we don't want Rory, let's put in DJ. Oh, we don't want Justin, we're playing him too much, let's put in Rom. And Snedeker, again, we could do the same thing with Snedeker. It's like, well, we didn't play any Kisner, let's put in some Kisner. I'm going to do the same thing with Kisner and Bubba. And then Homa, you know, we like 2 guys around the same price. Might as well put one in, you know, Adam Long. And Keegan can be substituted with anyone just above 6,900 or below. So, I mean, we could put even a Kevin Kisner in that one just to make that one a bit more balanced, a bit more consistent. I mean, Bubba and Keegan, those are volatile golfers. I think one other thing that I want to try this week is do something like this. So I thought to myself, let's grab the most expensive golfer that we would play, and that would be Dustin. So we'll put Dustin there. And then the cheapest, which is obviously Adam Long. I know that just from memory. And then we kind of will fill out the rest. Let's put in golfers we really like. So I really like Tony Finau. $7,900. I think I need to put someone in there that's like low 7, maybe high 6. I don't want to overdo it with Keegan, but just in the just in this example, because I'm not sure I'm gonna keep any of this up here. But I'll put Keegan there, so it leaves me with 8,500, which is pretty awesome. So I can do quite a bit of things here with 8,500. I could go up to 9,000, grab somebody from up there, pair with Dustin, or we could go somewhere in the middle. How about we do that? Let's do that. Let's go somewhere in the middle. Let's see. Adam Scott was playing with Bubba. Jordan. Do we remember who was Jordan? Do you guys remember? It was a good lineup, wasn't it? Or a good pairing. It was with Kuchar, right? Probably going cross-eyed right now. All right, Spieth. Where are you? Oh my god. Where's my... Spieth is playing with Kuchar and Rose. All right. Kuchar and Rose. can't play Kuchar with Spieth. So maybe we just say no. Say nay. Jordan, I could play any of these guys, really. We play someone like Xander? No, okay, all right. I'm sorry for taking so long. Let's just do this. This is the most simplest way of doing it. There we go. I'm going to mess around with this a little bit. So instead of cascading like the typical way of cascading, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out Dustin and put in Justin. With that, I will then grab any guy in the next 5. And I'm going to do that a couple different ways. So like with Jason Day, you know, obviously it's really easy to go with, like, let's say, well, if I'm going to change this and go down, that's what I want to do. I'm sorry, guys. Here, I want to do this anyways. I just want to show you something. So can we do Kuchar? And yes, we can. Perfect. There we go. Liking this. Okay. Good. So this is what I had planned. We go with someone like Justin, who isn't the most expensive guy. And we put in Dustin. Obviously, this is going to hit us over the cap. Now we select 5 golfers in here, find someone that is cheaper. So let's say, all right, I don't want Kuchar. I need to find someone that's $600 less than Kuchar. Well, we have Jason Day. So now we're switching. Anytime I switch this guy, we're going to do it here as well. So let's go someone a little bit below. Let's put in Patrick Cantlay. So I'm going to change Kuchar. Or maybe will I do that? Huh. Yeah. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Rose is playing with Jordan Spieth. So there we go. Now we got Rose. Now we have some kind of difference there. Now I'll come here and change Kuchar, but I'll change somebody else, you know, in a different spot. Actually, that's kind of what I wanted to do with this. Darn. I'm going to change Jordan Spieth instead. I know, kind of going back and forth might be a little annoying. Let's do something like that. And then we can change Kuchar to Hideki. And then with that, we'll change Keegan. So what I'm basically doing is replacing 2 golfers. And if I go up with one golfer, I'm going to come down with another golfer. I mean, you kind of were seeing the process that I was doing. And I don't know why I'm not changing Tony Finau. I haven't yet thought this all the way through. This is kind of my trial error doing it right now, but I kind of enjoy what I'm seeing because, you know, how about this? Let's go back. I like what we did with this lineup, so I'm going to keep that one there. But instead of Kuchar, because we already traded him there, let's go with Finau here. So if I go up, like I said before, if I go up, I have to go down somewhere. Now, for this, it'd probably be beneficial if I went down like with Jordan Spieth. So we go from Jordan Spieth to, so 8,600. We could go down to Jason Day. Or find someone. Oh, Bryson's not playing with anyone that we like. And Kuchar and Spieth are playing with Rose. So we might want to keep those guys together. You know what? Yeah, we gotta get out. We gotta get rid of Keegan Bradley. We could put in. Let's just do like Haotong, just for the sake of this video. So we take him out, put in Haotong. That gives us right there at 0 left over. In all reality, you don't want to have that much of somebody that's 6,300. It's begging for just disaster. All of this could be totally fine. What I suggest is doing something like this. How about we change it? We'll put them here. And kind of doing that. So it kind of staggers them a bit. That way you're not getting too much exposure of one golfer. And also, you know, when we're changing golfers out, you know, let's change Spieth, go one up, go a couple up, not a big deal, and then change, you know, Keegan or Max Homa. You can't really change Max Homa down, so we're gonna have to change Keegan Bradley down, or we could change Matt Kuchar down, which is totally fine. Sure, Adam Scott. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing, is something like that. I want to do a 2-off, and I kind of want to create some kind of rule. So it's going to be like something like, if I'm changing that guy, I'll like if I'm changing this guy, I will change that guy. And if I change that guy, I'll change that guy. That guy, I'll change that. You know, something like that. So it's kind of a cascade. Be that. Back to Kuchar, maybe. Be back to Thomas, right? I wouldn't want to do that, but maybe instead of doing those two, I would do something like. I like that. I think that's what I'm gonna try to do, and we'll see how that goes. But we're running kind of on 52 minutes here. I don't really have kind of a hard quit, but I don't. With it being a no cut event, I think you just need to find streaky players. I think that's probably going to be the best way, and you want the streaky players to do well this week. Justin Thomas has talked about how he thinks his game is on point. He also had an injury in the middle of the year, if you guys remember, as the other golfers were golfing. So you can almost think of it kind of like he vacationed a little bit. He had a lot of rest, and now he's coming into the swing. The rest of the tournament's coming down the line here, gearing up for the FedEx playoffs. He might just be the golfer you get on going through. Now at 10-7, that kind of is unfortunate. You know, everyone must have, let's say the pricing people saw, you know, this type of outcome. So we really can't do much about that. I wish he was like in the 9s. That'd have been awesome. I really don't know who's going to win this tournament. It's kind of, you know, it's I really don't know. You know, if we looked at every year going back, you know, Dustin won it being the top guy. You got a lot of guys kind of in the middle of the salary. Now this is just the St. Jude Classic. Schwartzel won it in 2017, $7,900. Phil, the highest guy at 10-2. You know, Rafa, Billy Horschel, Kevin Chappell, Ches Reavie. That's pretty decent. Seeing Ches Reavie there. Scott was up there also. There's Dustin again with Phil and Brooks. Yeah, I mean, Brooks again. And really, I don't see anyone coming in here with, you know, super good form from the week before. A couple top 20s, but you got a 67 here. You had a 65 there. 62. You know, is that a corollary? 72. There's your 60 to 80. You don't see one here, though. Now, the FedEx St. Jude Classic was followed after the or Memphis, geez, the Memorial. I always do that. I see the MEM. This is the Memorial Tournament. The Memorial is usually played by a lot of good golfers since it's Jack's tournament. So you can see a lot of results here. I mean, DJ, you know, perhaps with it being an important tournament, if you play well the week before and you're a decent golfer, that might have some merit, something. I don't know. I guess that we could scroll down here and look at some of the other results just to see if that even correlates. I will say this, I think course history matters somewhat. You see a bunch of course history there. All but 2 had course history there. Not so much here. Oh, well, sorry. I had to scroll down a little bit. So, yeah, some. You know, you had 4 openings there. All course history here. So, although there weren't that many, you know, we have golfers who did not play the year before. We do have golfers that have course history. So, does that apply with anyone here? We don't have many golfers. I mean, I guess Adam Scott. That's a good one. Webb, Paul Casey, Woodland, Reed, Rafa, Ian Poulter. That's not bad. Kevin Kisner. I don't even think having poor course history is that detrimental. It's just having some. Yeah, there's another one. So, I mean, maybe it's worth playing like a Cam Smith or Jim Furyk or Thorbjorn. Maybe Tony Finau. Maybe this just, you know, reinforces my Tony Finau take. Okay. I don't know, guys. Hopefully I showed you enough information that will make you comfortable with your choices this week. I would say try to really narrow down your pool. Obviously, you're going to hear that from a lot of people. My pool is not narrow. Well, how many do I have? I have 18 golfers. No. 23 golfers. So that's not very good at a WGC. Obviously, I can't play a lot of these golfers up here. You might need to make a stand, and I know that's the way that you should do it. Here, let's see what a balanced lineup looks like before I leave. So Finau, we're going to put in there right away. We like Finau. Oh, we're going to put him right there. And then we put Jordan in there? Sure. And let's put Bryson. Now we're at 80 or 8,000, I guess. I'm gonna put Brandt as my low guy, which I really like anyways, that being my low. Sure, let's put some Sergio in there. Leaves us with 9,000. So we have enough for Hideki. That's not bad. Not many people are playing Jordan. Probably not many people are playing Sergio. A lot of people will be playing Brandt and Hideki. And there are people in the industry that are giving a big bump to Bryson. Whatever. You know? Maybe you do that substitute 2 golfers routine here with this lineup and get on some good golfers. I don't know. This week is definitely interesting. And because it's kind of the first time it's being done, we really can't rely on any past history of anything. So the bucket system's, out. Can't really use that. Course history. Not many golfers have course history. Maybe are you going to choose that? But of course, there are times where you're going to find golfers who just don't have course history inside the top 10. It doesn't look very, it's not a very high occurrence. It's happened twice. But again, we have a limited field that just does not have. That was probably a copy from the Open. But we have a limited field. We don't have a lot of course history, but if you want to use that, that just narrows down your pool even more. I might grab one of these guys. Well, Tony's probably my guy that I like that has a miscut as his course history. This cut, not play. Hey, miscut. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And leave a like if you liked it. Comment whatever feedback that you have. Did you like this type of format? Give me who you like. That'd be fun to look at and see and maybe converse about. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'm thinking about doing a Twitch stream sometime soon, and I might do that going forward, just for the hell of it. We don't have many events left, but I might try some new things going into next year. So I will let you guys know. Follow my Twitter, SweetSpotDFS. Obviously you can email me at Gmail. But yeah, have a good week, guys. Good luck.